Last time on Fools in the Woods, we had Nicholas Gay Fuentes getting raped and pegged by Candace Owens, while he declares that himself alone is the bucket of ice-cold water that must be poured upon the masses to red pill them all on the JQ.
I'm saying it now, and, and that's the difference, I guess, is this is a common critique of me and my audience. People say, well,
pretty regular these days.
Are you being strategic? These kinds of things.
Who needs
I'm
strategy?
Not setting plays.
Exactly.
I will acknowledge I'm impulsive. I am bombastic.
Ooh,
I'm out there. I'm a maniac,
You just gotta be a maniac. Throw out all the things. Say some craziest shit as possible for everyone else to hear, right?
But my job is to put the truth out there. I am the bucket of ice-cold water, and I'm dumping it on people, and some people are going to get it, and some people it's going to take them longer. I'll let other people set the plays. I'll let other people kind of do the breadcrumbs and do this incremental approach. Me, I kind of figured it out. I was off to the races from the beginning, and I just want to cut to the chase and get to the most fundamental part of the...
Just get to the fundamental part. Cut the chase. And oh boy, did Nick's Groiper army take this as a direct commandment. They took it as a direct lesson from Nicholas Fuentes, and they've inscribed it in the Gospel of Groip. And they've assembled a team, an elite team of Groiper commandos, known as Sussy Squad 69. And they've infiltrated the Jubilee event, where they could red pill the masses, millions upon millions of people on the JQ, elitism, autocracy, and Catholicism.
Guys, I found the perfect
and there's a commercial.
My next claim is that Donald Trump is defying the Constitution.
Yes. Holy shit, look at that fatty move. Damn, he was quick. He probably hasn't moved that quick since he was a child chasing after the ice cream truck.
Nice to meet you, Mehdi. Lovely to meet you.
So I would say that with Trump being anti-Constitution, I don't really care to be
Doesn't matter.
Okay? Because in regards...
One sentence, and he's immediately getting claps. You know it's been infiltrated with all of his friends, his buddies, his little Groiper mates.
In regards to the Constitution is a document that should seek to serve us. And when it fails to seek to serve us, that can be amended. Laws can be changed. And quite frankly, the fact is,
Quite frankly, I'm pretty sure the Constitution doesn't serve anybody. It's a useful document to structure laws and policies.
Defending things in this country that shouldn't be defended. The First Amendment should not defend pornography and making children and women be victimized. Making women and children be victimized as a result of that. I think things like blasphemy shouldn't be allowed per the First Amendment. I think that
quite frankly, you can't insult the Pope and his many shitty behaviors like establishing the Abrahamic Accords so that Jews, Muslims, and Catholics can all worship quote-unquote the same God alike.
There are a lot of legal processes that are enabling criminals and bad people to fully enact their will in this country in the name of the Constitution or following the Constitution. So, quite frankly, if Trump is anti-Constitution, good, and I think he should go further.
So, this is one...
So, right off the bat, he just pretty much ignores everything that Mehdi or whatever his fucking name is actually put up there as the question. You just said, I don't care. Burn the Constitution. Take it all away. Okay, sure. That's a stance.
Wonderfully revealing of the modern conservative mindset, so I appreciate you spelling it out so openly. Just checking, do you support the Second Amendment?
I do.
Okay.
Ooh.
Surprise, I was shocked to hear that.
He was shocked. Got him right there. He's just like, you don't care about the Constitution, but you care about the Second Amendment. And then PInesap says, yes. You dumbass. PInesap, you know what you say? No, I don't give a fuck about the Second Amendment at all. I think it should all go away as much as possible. But I support people having rights and the access to guns and weaponry. If anything, they should have more access to weaponry.
I'm saying that Donald Trump is defying the First Amendment, the
Idiot.
Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's thinking of defying the 12th and 22nd Amendments. You're saying you don't care about the Constitution, but actually you do because you quite like the Second Amendment. You just don't like the bits that you disagree with. Can I just be clear on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to amend it and
whenever it's in your favor.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So can Democrats do the same when they're in office?
No, absolutely not.
So you don't believe in...
No, absolutely not. Nobody else can amend it. Just me, and my friends. My friends in the Groyper Army, only Nicholas J. Fuentes can declare what is and shouldn't be in the U.S. Constitution.
Democracy.
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
What do you believe in?
Autocracy.
Authoritarian.
Honestly, quite frankly, anyone who is in line with Catholic teaching.
Quite frankly, you don't actually have to be a Catholic. You just have to be in line with Catholic teaching. And just as the Pope has declared that Muslims worship the same God as the Catholic Church, then obviously, PInesap would be perfectly fine with a Muslim taking charge of the U.S.
Donald Trump is not Catholic.
Of course, he's not. I completely agree, and
So
that's
you
part of
support
the problem.
Trump? You don't support Trump?
No, I don't. I didn't even vote for him. I wrote in like John Pork or someone. I can't even remember.
Why did you vote if you don't believe in democracy and you want...
Why did you vote if you think it doesn't matter and it doesn't change anything? Like, you're a little bit contradicting yourself here, back and forth.
Well, because quite frankly, I voted. I kind of voted just.
I came with this argument, but I'm bored of my own argument. I'm much more interested in this. So
yeah, absolutely.
How do we get to an alternative?
I'm more interested in this. I'm more interested in having you make a complete ass of yourself in front of millions upon millions of people and publicly admitting that you don't agree to the social standards and political expectations of the modern day America.
I think, quite frankly, that if we are able to enact local leaders...
Who is the we, by the way?
I think, quite frankly, these far-right conservatives sitting right around
White
me.
people?
Yeah, absolutely.
only the people I like. I think only the people I like should be allowed to vote and enact my autocracy. Okay.
Well, actually, I have quite...
Some of the people in this room don't make the cut from what I can see visually.
Hold on.
Actually, I'm a Groyper. I'm a dedicated Groyper, and I love my Latino friends, my Latino brothers in Christ in the Catholic Church. So I completely endorse mass importations from Mexico and South America to the U.S.
Are people who happen to not be white who do actually have history in this country and have roots in this country. For instance, from the Mexican-American War, we subsumed a lot of territory of people who have far stakes in this country who happen to be Hispanic or what have you. I'm for defending the traditional
He loves his
demographics
big
of this country,
Latino
which
booty.
is majority white,
So
and
how
should stay that
How
way.
does the United States... I mean, we've gotten so off topic, but how does the United States look like under you? Sorry, what's your name?
My name is, my name's Connor. It's a pleasure to meet you, too.
that stutter there, that subtle, like, should I really say my real name out there? Should I really put it out there publicly for everyone to see? He's like, whatever, what's the worst gonna happen? They already see my face, they already know my political beliefs. Surely this isn't gonna come back to bite me.
A little bit of a doubt there.
Oh, well, I
Connor,
use a pseudonym online,
fair enough.
but
Connor,
fair enough.
How would Connor's America look? What would it look like?
Well, quite frankly, I think we would deport people who shouldn't be here.
No, I didn't ask about
whether-
deporting. What does the government look like?
Does the government look like?
He's just like, quite frankly, I don't give a shit what you think about demographics, because I don't fit into your narrative, clearly.
I would say, quite frankly, it's under a sort of benevolent leader such as
Where does he come
Franco.
from?
It could be a kind of aristocratic.
He comes from Chicago, in a little dreary little ghetto area that's filled with a bunch of Latino men. And he's about, 5'4", 3, has a mustache every now and then, is losing his hair a bit.
Class could be someone
No,
who
who picks the autocrat?
frankly, the people. I mean, we could hold a vote on it. Kings were
Isn't
paid.
that democracy?
Well, sure. You can have a vote to get to that
And
state.
then no more votes afterwards?
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
Wow.
Wow is right. What a sales pitch. Hey guys, let's all get together, elect an authoritarian dictator, and then he'll just control and dictate everything that we have to do, say, and believe. Perfect, yeah. Everyone's gonna just vote for that in America, land of liberty, justice, and freedom for all.
And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that?
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills because
How do
that's
you
a whole thing.
What do you do if he kills you? Well, I'm not going to be part of that group because I'm a member of the Groyper Army, and Nick would never do something like that to me. What a stupid fucking response. Well, I'm not going to be part of that because I'm in the in-group. Really, PInesap. You know what you should have just said? You should have just said, that's a rhetorical question, you dumbass. You stupid fucking foreign piece of crap. No shit, I wouldn't be cool with that. No one would want their family being killed by an authoritarian dictatorship. For real here. Just say that's a rhetorical question. Why ask me something so obvious and dumb?
How do you know?
Carl Schmitt
Autocrats tend to kill everyone, even their own
makes
subordinates.
this point very well in his work.
Carl
It's the
Schmitt.
friend enemy distinction, right? You
Carl
liberals,
Schmitt, the Nazi theoretician.
yeah, absolutely.
Uh-oh.
I don't care.
Are you a fan of the Nazis?
I don't care. I frankly don't care being called a Nazi.
I didn't say that. I didn't say
You could have just said no, PInesap. You could have just said no. You could have said no. But no, he's like, you know what? I think they have a lot of really good ideas, and a bit of a fan of Adolf.
I didn't say that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that, but
What about the persecution?
You just backpedal back. Well, they were mean to Catholics. They didn't really accept Catholics all that much. Oh my gosh. They persecuted the wrong group of people. They were innocent. They didn't do nothing wrong. But I still like them, and I'm not going to denounce them.
Jews.
well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
You hear
But
that?
you don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews.
Uh-oh.
I think that there was a little bit of persecution.
We
Some
may
of
have
that
to
which is
rename
bad,
the show
but-
because you were a little bit more.
There was a little bit of persecution of the Jews, just flat out being like, ugh, it wasn't that bad. It was really more like, a circus show, and all the Jews are performing for the people of Germany in the audience. You can't denounce it completely. You mean like, the Holocaust was really bad, okay? He basically just said it was fake. He basically said he doesn't think it actually happened.
A far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
What can you say?
I think you say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Just that ghoulish look on his face with that crooked nose, twisted ears, and those pudgy little cheeks. It was disgusting. It was despicable, and he thought it was a good look for him. He thought he looked phenomenal out there. But there was someone out there a while back that said, if you're fat, don't put yourself in the public space. You really shouldn't. It's a bit of a problem. I wonder who that was.
Please, if you are fat or ugly, just stay away from the photographs. And generally, just stay away. It's not personal. I'm not that shallow. It's not that. It's just that if we ever have a picture of the Groypers, and it's a bunch of fat, ugly retards, we're all going to look like fat, ugly retards. People are going to say, oh, look, here come the Groypers, and they're going to post a picture of your fat, ugly face.
Absolutely.
I'm just checking who's clapping just to get my set of where everyone is on this.
He's pointing at all the
Millions of people are
Groypers.
going to be watching you on YouTube and checking out who the fascists and the Nazis are.
I'm not ashamed of that
No,
whatsoever.
clearly you're not.
I'm not ashamed of that. It's not a problem with me. I'm surely not going to regret it or whatever. And Mehdi's just right there like, oh, thanks for doing all the work for me. Antifa doesn't have to do anything for you. I just made you admit it all publicly, and now you'll just be publicly shamed by your employer, by your family, by your neighbors, by your members of your congregation of the church that you assemble. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Surely not.
Clearly you're not.
During the pre-war period, prior to World War II, it was only those parties that properly enacted the people's will. That's why they won. The conservatives were fat cats.
Are you
They were
in favor
aristocrats. They didn't care.
of killing people who aren't like you?
Quite frankly, I'm not.
You
If
mentioned
they-
Franco.
Quite frankly, I'm not. But, you mentioned that you were a bit of a fan of Franco, right? Didn't he do that? Didn't he do a little bit of killing and stabbing and slaughtering of the innocent?
Franco killed a lot of innocent people.
Oh, well, he killed communists. He killed people who raped nuns and killed priests.
What about children who he killed and women who he killed?
What are you talking about? He never killed any women or children. He was Catholic,
He only
dude.
killed combatants. Is that what you-
Uh-oh.
He only killed combatants.
Never killed-
Uh-oh. Jubilee came in with the fact check. Jubilee coming in. Franco and his forces killed or executed 150,000 people. That includes members of the Catholic clergy who were deemed either liberal or loyal to the Spanish Republic. Womp, womp, womp. Massive L for PInesap. He's all like, oh, those Nazis, that NSDP, that Adolf, they persecute Catholics too much. But Franco, most certainly not. He didn't do anything. He was a devout Catholic. Why would a Catholic persecute other Catholics? Surely Nick has never done that before, and neither have the Groypers.
The white terror
Like Candace
was only
Owens.
punishing those people who did acts of terrorism. And again, are you supporting like raping innocent women? Nuns, dude. Killing priests? I mean, priests don't break.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the virtue signaling. The virtue signaling. No shit, PInesap, he supports that. You're talking to a Muslim man here. You realize that? You realize that he's a Muslim? If anything, rather than asking him, do you support this, that you thing that you clearly support, you just bring up the Islamic invasions of the Balkans, or Spain, or Portugal, and talk about the behavior, the domination, the enslavement of the population. You could talk about the Janissaries, the quote-unquote elite Turkish divisions that was totally built up off the Christian child populace, and had, at the beginning, they were actually had their genitalia removed and they weren't allowed to reproduce and all these things. Later, you stopped doing that a bit, but they had an entire army that was quote-unquote elite, that were slaves. And since all of the men were busy fighting wars for the Muslims being slaves, all of the women were being taken in as concubines, completely genetically extinguishing the people of those areas that resided there for hundreds, if not thousands of years at that point. You could talk about so many other things, but you're like, but the communists were mean to the Catholics. How about you bring up something he does care about, and something that he does value, like Islam and Palestine and Gaza and their persecution of the Jews there? But no, he has to default back and go on the defense because he's too much of a cuck and a coward to go on the attack and really challenge Mehdi for what he truly believes and who he really is, and that is an anti-white foreign piece of shit that doesn't have any values with the US, that doesn't share any values with England. In fact, he doesn't even share values with India, where he's originally from, being a Muslim. You know, he could have brought up, hey, you know what there, Mehdi? If you really want to criticize the Jews and push all these conspiracies off, that Donald Trump is controlled by the Jews and Israel, and they're dictating all of his different moves, and that's why he's attacking the Gazans. You could have been like, hey, Mehdi, you need to get kicked out of 107 more countries before you can actually complain about the Jews. Because right now, you've only been kicked out of the UK and India.
Guns and kill
You just
people?
refuse to condemn the Nazi Holocaust, my friend. I don't think you're in a position to ask anyone any questions.
I quite frankly don't.
You refuse to condemn the Holocaust. Go and attack, PInesap. Attack! Question Islam. Attack Islam. But no, he's too much of an idiot.
Care what you think about me. If
I don't care what you think.
Being a
Feeling
Nazi,
is mutual,
it
so-
being a Nazi.
Exactly. The feeling's mutual. From the start, the second you started saying that stuff, Mehdi dropped off. He didn't care. All he has to do at this point is insult you, call you a fascist, call you a Nazi, call you a Holocaust-denying Jew hater, when you should have been doing that to him. You should have been like, hey, Mehdi, you're the one who denies the Holocaust. You're the one who hates the Jews. You're the one who's an anti-Semite, not me.
Holding human dignity, because I even believe in your dignity. I don't, in a state that I was
with the
running,
greatest of
I wouldn't
respect.
want to hurt you or anything like that.
Oh, I would want to hurt you. He starts simping for the foreigner. Simping for him like, hey, Mehdi, but we both agree. We really don't like Israel and Zionism, and that they're currently controlling the Trump administration. Come on, go easy on me, bro. When in reality, Mehdi is a cutthroat, die-hard, lib-shit brownoid who comes from a completely foreign nation and claims to be a U.S. person that belongs in the U.S. because he simply has citizenship.
Quite
Doing
frankly,
it. I don't debate fascists.
Exactly. I don't debate him.
so
I just
do
insult you.
concede then? I mean, why?
Do I concede you're a fascist who won't condemn the Nazis?
Yeah.
Yes, I concede.
Oh,
Okay, great.
see? Okay, great. Go great. Thanks for insulting me. That's the problem with these people. They're so caught up in their hatred and their despise and all their conspiracies about Zionism and the Jews that he can't even go on the attack on the brown man who hates the Jews and Zionism also, because he's just like, we're on the same team. Come on, Mehdi. Nick declared it. We're having a Muslim and Christian alliance, bro. We're on the same side. We're just here to have a pleasant conversation. When at the end, Mehdi's just like, yeah, we'll have our little Muslim Christian alliance for the time being to get rid of the Jews. But when it comes, and when we're the majority, I'll slit your throat, I'll rape your women, and I'll enslave your populace underneath Sharia law.
So I mean, what are we doing here? Because I mean, you
You're
just
making
seem
an ass of
offended.
yourself.
You just seem offended, to be quite frankly. Like,
I'm offended by people.
Quite frankly, you seem offended. I'm most certainly not stumbling for words and things to talk about and things to criticize you about.
Who can't condemn the Nazis? Yes, I am.
okay.
Brutal.
Well, I condemn the evils that they did, but I don't really
Oh,
care about
cucked.
being, yeah, sure.
Cucked.
I don't care about being called a
Cucked.
Nazi is the whole thing.
I never called you a
I
Nazi.
care
You
about
called
doing
yourself
the right
a Nazi,
thing.
a fascist, and a General Franco
Well,
supporter.
yeah, I am a General Franco supporter. He was awesome. He was super cool,
Ooh.
quite frankly. Because the whole
And you
thing,
don't believe in democracy.
I don't believe in
What are you
democracy.
doing here at a televised debate?
What are you doing here? Why are you admitting this publicly? Do you realize there's consequences for your actions here? It's just beautiful. It's perfect. Mehdi brings it in the start, nails all these points, gets PInesap to admit all these things, and then right at the conclusion of it, as he's seeing people are putting up their flags, trying to get rid of him, he's wrapping it up, restating his points of the things that PInesap admitted to, being a fascist, denying the Holocaust, supporting the Nazis, and all this other bullshit. And then he's just gonna get kicked off, leave, and nobody will ever hear or see anything from him ever again.
This is democracy. Don't put a debate and
Because
disagreement.
it is the means to support an end. The reason we have free speech now is because we want to be openly talking about our opinions.
He's
so we can
against
get the
free
state that we
speech.
want. But it doesn't mean a full
great.
free speech after we win. Again, I mentioned
Once we win.
About this fascist moment
The
we're in,
whole
is
reason-
that you guys are so open about it.
The
It's
whole
great.
reason
Say
I
the
mentioned-
quiet part loud.
the
Keep saying it.
whole
Ooh,
reason
that
I
was a
mentioned
gay
Carl
looking face. What the fuck? You see that? He just like twisted his lip up like, ooh. Ooh, look at me. I'm so cute in my silk shirt. I'm your little friendly local groiper boy.
earlier, you kind of blew past him, is the friend
Very
enemy
zesty.
distinction.
Asked him because of the Nazi
Even liberals, when they take power, they want to enact policies and they want to enact protections for their people and their ideas, and they're willing to punish their enemy. And so I'm the same way. I'm like, hey,
Oh, the liberals are doing this. You advocate for that also.
if you're going to punish me, I'm going to.
He just doesn't give a shit. He's like, no shit.
To leverage power against me.
But I'm calling you a Nazi
Just
here,
that
and a
simple.
fascist. Look at him. Give him the silent treatment.
I'm sure what you want to say.
I don't care.
Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please.
And it was what it was. And oh boy, was it quite the showing. So many things happened since then too. In fact, if you could imagine there were some consequences for PInesap's actions. And he did end up being fired from his job, unfortunately. But unsurprisingly.
Show, because you were a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
She's smiling now.
I'm just
So,
saying.
when
Yeah.
I saw that man, I was confused. I was like, I think that guy's. Is he trying to get fired?
Just digging into him, just twisting, taking the knife, stabbing his side and twisting it. And like, are you like trying to get fired by saying all this crazy, stupid shit for millions of people to see? Are you really that dumb?
Because I know today that almost every job, every sector has been inundated with this DEI bullshit. And
I don't think DEI has
they allow you
anything to do with
believe
this.
anything you want, except for things that are stringently right-wing, Christian, or heterosexual. You know,
There you go.
orthodoxy. And you are in some serious trouble in your personal life over this. Am I right?
That is correct.
What happened?
Well, unfortunately, I lost my job as a result, and
I lost my job because I wanted to be an e-celeb and an internet star. So I got fired for saying what I really think.
no one really is to blame for that. It's just the culture that kind of exists. Current.
Nobody's to blame for that. It's just the culture that exists. It's not my fault. It's society's fault. It's the Jews' fault for me getting fired.
Surrounding the manner in which you're canceled for voicing exactly what you said, any heterosexual, Christian.
Now listen here. Listen, let's be honest here. There is nothing heterosexual about being part of a little internet clique or cult.
Sort of moral belief that goes beyond sort of the secularism and the relativism that we're so used to in our time. And so that's what I set out to do.
I'm not.
He asked me, oh, well, do you condemn the Holocaust? It's like, well, of course I condemn persecution of anyone, Jews included. I'm a Catholic. I don't believe in persecuting anyone.
But you couldn't directly come out and condemn the Holocaust. It's that easy, buddy. You just say, yeah, that was really bad and they shouldn't have done it.
But I'm not going to play your game of let's reference the Holocaust, because That's a loaded question.
I'm not going to play your little game where you sit there, berate me, insult me, and mock me. No. I'm going to play fair. I'm going to play honest. I'm going to be a good Christian man. I'm not going to say mean things about you in front of your face. Oh, most certainly not. That's not proper. That's not proper Christianity. No, it's bitch-made behavior. It's cucked. He should have been like Christ with his whip, whipping out and lashing the money changers out of the temple.
Trying to do there is you're trying to insinuate that worldview is going to lead to genocide and chaos and destruction. But as you said, we see so many...
And guess what, PInesap? You should have attacked his worldview and said, look, your worldview also leads to genocide, persecution, and mass extermination because you're a Muslim. It's not that hard.
Regimes where that's exactly the opposite. I mean, look at what's going on in El Salvador right now. The streets are clean. It is...
Gotta reference that third world nation, El Salvador. Mis amigos, my fellow Groipo friends in Mexico and shit. You know, you guys are got it really going on straight. We should be more like a third world shithole.
A paradise in Central America and really South America for that perspective. They went from being one of the most dangerous countries with MS-13 to one of the safest and cleanest countries, all because they had, a centralized police.
I'm pretty sure many places in the West are still far more safer than El Salvador these days.
Force government willing to enforce the law and willing to actually lay down a moral structure to their society, not being scared of what, journalists or other fogies like to say.
But you got fired from a legitimate job that provided well because...
Ooh, it provided well, real well. He was paid in oolas and oolas of pesos. It was really unfortunate that he finally had this really great job that he was really successful, really good at, and really enjoyed, and he just got kicked the bucket away from it because he said stupid shit online.
Because of your political views that are not illegal, how does that make you feel?
Frankly, kind of destroyed.
Frankly, I'm a little bit nervous, and I still have to use my little nervous tick when I'm uncomfortable talking about my shitty, horrible situation that I'm entirely to be blamed for.
I put a lot of pride in the work that I do. I try to treat everyone with a level of respect and love and decency. And, many might say, oh, you say that, but you're actually this evil guy behind closed doors. No, I'm a guy who is looking at our society.
We know you're a cucked, you're a beta, you're a loser, you're a soy. You can even talk down a foreign piece of crap about the values and expectations of your nation and your countrymen because you're that much of a pathetic worm.
Society being torn apart by just kind of the lack of rule of law, the lack of meaning in people's lives. Frankly, let's just get a little heart of it, the lack of God in people's lives. And I say enough at this point. I mean, why is it that we have to live in a society where people are killing themselves, they're addicted to drugs, they are looking for all manner of filling...
Why do we have to live in a society that's crumbling and falling apart? Oh, it's me! Oh, I can't just sit back and let this happen. No, I have to go online, go in front of millions of people, and deny the Holocaust and tell them that I love Adolf because I want to be just like Nick. I want to be just like Kanye. I want to be that bucket of ice-cold water that is poured upon the public and poured upon the people to red pill the masses to accept my Catholic autocracy.
The vacuum and the void that is going on in their lives, and I'm the evil one for calling that out. I just simply don't understand that.
I simply don't understand. I simply don't understand why in the United States it's not okay to be against democracy, freedom, liberty, and justice for all. I really just don't understand why people in the United States, a country that was established by Protestants, they wouldn't want a Catholic autocracy. It really just makes you think, right? It really makes you just sit back and think, like, how delusional is he? Has his mind been completely wiped and replaced by the ideology and dogma of Nicholas J. Fuentes, or is he just an idiot?
I find it to be so abhorrent that anyone who is willing to care enough about other people and willing to lay down their life so that other people may have a better life is canceled from that. And
I care so much about other people. I care so much about other people that I need to go out there and tell them, yes, people, You need to decide less for your life, and you must accept Nick Fuentes as your king and god. So, obviously, he did that, and he started a little GoFundMe, as it is popular these days. When you get canceled, you can make thousands upon thousands of dollars for being an idiot. And he's made a nice $30K so far at this point, probably a bit more. But not everybody has come out and supported his little stance on this. And many of them are saying, you know what, you're kind of an idiot and a dummy, and you shouldn't have, said any of this. And you made an ass of yourself, you only have yourself to blame. One of those people is Keith Woods. Former Groyper General Keith Woods is now backstabbing the Groypers publicly and denouncing their activities as ludicrous and stupid. This is not how you should carry yourself in debates like this. This isn't going to convince anyone that doesn't fully share his extremely niche worldview within his little echo chamber that he lives within constantly. There can be some value in doubling down on enemy labels like fascist. But when you hold a position 99% of your countrymen oppose, like wanting a Catholic autocracy, at some point you have to show yourself to be more reasonable than your opponent. You have to come off, normal and relatable, and not so crazy and insane. This whole interaction felt like fishing for based sound bites for his own followers, rather than actually presenting these views in a convincing way. That approach might work if you have a largely popular position that only the hysterical libtard disagrees with, but Mehdi has the popular position here, even among conservatives. No answer to his reasonable objections to autocracy other than a Twitter brain invocation of the friend/enemy distinction. I get the feeling as a lot of these people were trying to imitate Nick Fuentes and his very character, mannerisms, and gospel-tier doctrine, but Nick actually comes off as a very rational and disarming. Gay! L for Keith. We were going to give you a win, Keith, and then you had to come in here defending Fuentes, as always. You can't fully commit to one side or the other. You have to sit in this middle ground position like the fence sitter that you've always been. And this is where it gets really interesting, because if you can imagine, since Keith has been expelled from the Groyper Club and the Groyper cult, PInesap didn't care. Too long. Didn't read. Not my problem. But you know who did come out in support of PInesap? You know who really loved the things PInesap had to say? Well, pagans. Like Mark Brahman, who will get, and he's anti-Christian, by the way, who will get more support from self-righteous Wignat Anon community? One tatted Minnesota MILF Shiloh Hendricks, who shouted the N-word at a minor in public, or a person civilly articulating his political views in a debate? Resentment, talking about Keith shitting on him, saying, hey, you're a cuck and it's weird that you still hate Shiloh. Resentment, sure, one expressed views civilly in a debate. The other graciously started shouting the N-word at the minor in a park. Oh, the poor little foreign Somali child. Woe is him. In an age of cell phones, the premise that her use of slurs was request to protecting her child could only be held by someone as stupid as Keith. As dumb as Keith. No, Shiloh's the one who blames for herself. She was the one in public that started screaming the N-word at a black man and a child. Woe is us. Woe is us. Why should we support her? Unlike PInesap, he wanted to come out there and really teach you people something. He had a choice, and he went out there to make that choice and say a bunch of insane, stupid shit while some lady was just at a park. You get the insanity here. We must support the man who publicly makes an ass of himself. That's why you're at where you are at, Mark, these days. But not only did Mark as a pagan come out and support PInesap, but no, also dickhead Spencer did. One person attempted to articulate a trad Catholic ideology. The other yelled the N-word at a child. I'm not a fan of the stylings of PInesaps, but he's endlessly more defensible than Shiloh. filthy slut! You simply go with the groupthink, declare who's in and who's out of your internet clique. Not serious. Surely not serious. Nick has never done the same thing before, and most certainly not with Keith Woods himself. But that's the funny thing here, truly. Why did the pagans come out and support PInesap? I mean, it's understandable why they didn't support Shiloh, because they were never going to get a chance to sleep with her. So obviously they supported PInesap because they had the best likelihood of getting the little butt, their penis in his little bum and his bussy, because he's a dedicated cult member of Nick Fuentes, and it's an aspect to be part of the cult. You must be thumbed in the bum by Nick Fuentes. But there's a bit of a problem here. You got all these pagans coming out and supporting PInesap, saying you did great. All the groypers, even PInesap's like, that was no regrets. I don't care if I lost my job. But there was someone who didn't agree with that, unfortunately. And that was Nick Fuentes.
You know, look, I don't think the, Keith Woods, I think, actually had a good point about this.
Oh, baby! He signed with Keith. He's betraying his fellow groyper, his groyper general, his very groyper, Catholic supremacist, LARPing person, whatever.
You're trying to appeal to a rational audience. When you do a Jubilee video, you always have to consider your audience. That's the first rule of public speaking. I know this is like 101.
I know I'm giving you 101 lessons in baby talk right now about how to present yourself in public. But, you know, you shouldn't have done it how you did it, bud. And I'm not mad, I swear.
At least it should be. For those that don't know, literally, if you take any public speaking class ever, and I know because I did when I was in 6th grade.
Nick Fuentes is bringing back 6th grade level lessons about public speaking to PInesap. PInesap was such a dumbass, so inexperienced in this, while being the groyper cleric that he is, that Nick Fuentes has to bring up lessons from elementary and educate his followers on them.
And in high school they teach you this, and the first thing that anyone will teach you if you ever start any kind of program is know your audience.
Know your audience.
Rule number 1. Who are you talking to? Because everything about the presentation.
And guess what? At Jubilee, PInesap, you weren't in your little echo chamber talking to only groypers. No. In fact, millions upon millions of other people saw that, and more so than any groypers.
Is tailored to the audience. I talk on my show in a different way that I'm going to talk on a debate or
Candace Owens show.
When I go on the Nelk Boys or when I go on Candace Owens or whatever. You always tailor your appeal to the audience, which involves you have to think who your audience is.
Which is why Nick was really pissed about Candace Owens delivering those blows to him, because he was trying to be appealing and representing on her audience so he can grab some little clout from her, but she didn't give him the chance.
Doing a Jubilee video on YouTube, your audience is normies.
Uh-oh.
Your audience is as normie as it gets. So
the simpletons, the peasants.
And where they are is not like they're not on board with fascism, actually.
Shocker.
They're not on board with, I don't know, I didn't watch the whole thing, but a lot of the other stuff.
It was so bad. They had such a presentation, all of the groypers, not just PInesap, that Nick's just like, I can't watch this, man. This is brutal. This is bad. You're making us look like fools and clowns.
So, you know, public speaking, so much of it is nonverbal. It's about your appearance. You just want to look your best. You want to look normal, presentable. You want to look friendly. I'm a big believer in...
Not like a cackling goblin.
One of the reasons why I'm successful as a broadcaster is because I'm disarming. Why am I successful when other people...
Because nobody's afraid of him. Nobody fears Nick Fuentes. He's a tiny little squirt that has twigs for legs and arms.
...fail at doing the same thing. It's because every other person that tries to do what I do is doing their best Hitler imitation. You ever notice that? Everybody else that wants to talk about the Jews or race, they're all role-playing as Hitler. We're all getting really angry.
We're all getting really angry! Like you do on your show all the time.
And their brows are furrowed, and they're doing this. And you just look like an asshole. You just look like a little dickhead. Now, on the other hand, if
Calls
you're
his
funny,
followers dickheads.
and if you have a smile on your face and you're cheerful and you're disarming, then people say, oh, you know, I like this guy. I hate him. I disagree with everything he says. I think he's terrible. But you know what? He's pretty funny. But you know what? You know, he's pretty smart. It's
I'm so funny. I'm so smart. Clap for me. Agree with me, Groipers.
all in the approach. That's what my father always used to tell me. It's all in the approach.
And how was PInesap's approach? Well, it was fat, disgusting, and despicable.
Know who you're talking to, and remember the nonverbals. Gotta get your look down.
Giving him all the lessons.
And a lot of this stuff.
he's running out of troops. He's running out of generals. They're all fleeing and betraying him. He's like, you know what? I know, PInesap, you didn't mean to do ill against me, but you did. So I'm gonna educate you and teach you lessons from elementary school.
I sort of do unconsciously, so maybe I forget. But so many people just need to learn how to be like a normal human being.
oh, baby. Don't be a spurg. Stop being a freak. Stop being so dysgenic, awkward, and strange. Just kind of fit in, you know, guys? Like kind of how I fit in as being a quote-unquote straight man.
Normal, I don't even mean like, oh, you're weird, you need to be normal. I mean, you need to learn how to be like the perfect courtier. You need to learn how to be likable. Some people, it doesn't come as easy. Because a lot of people aren't raised right. But it involves, like, making eye contact, listening, and repeating back what the person said.
When I said he was giving elementary tier level lessons, I meant it. Make eye contact, repeat what they say to you to prove that you're listening and paying attention. It's called good communication skills here. Something PInesap clearly lacked, quite frankly.
You know, there's a lot of things that go into it, but it's like, people really need to learn that kind of thing. And I get why, look, it wasn't the best.
Ouch.
And you can only expect so much from people that are amateurish.
They're bums! They're losers! They're talentless hacks!
And by that, I mean they don't do it for a living. It's not a knock. And Mehdi
It's a knock.
Hasan, he was pretty aggressive. So that was on hard.
Yeah, he was.
Extremely aggressive. And
They were
arguing in
not
bad
ready.
faith and interrupting, I mean, so...
Oh, bad faith interrupting. You know what? You just talk over him. You insult him back. It's that easy. Is it that hard to insult people? Clearly not.
When you're dealing with a liberal like that, it's a little difficult. If you don't have experience, it's very difficult. So I'm not going to give any of those guys a hard time,
but you all suck.
It wasn't the best showing.
You all suck. You're all trash. Oh, no. And you know what? I think that really hurt PInesap really badly, because if you didn't know this, Nick means the world to him. Nick followed him. He's now his follower. Truly world-breaking. And unfortunately, hearing that little rhetoric from Nick scolding him and trying to teach him a little childlike lesson, you know, it probably really broke his heart, beat him down, and he's probably sad and depressed about it, because I don't know if you knew this, but this isn't the first time PInesap has been, you know, completely busted and broken over losing a job. In fact, he had another job here pretty recently, and here we go to his history. Connor, this is him. He graduated from the University of Denver, Colorado. Worked as a communications specialist at Most Precious Blood Catholic Church, June to November of 2024. And then served as a marketing coordinator at MedGeo Ventures from November 2024 until January 2025, which was later on discovered that he was fired from it. He was fired from that job for being a bum or having poor political beliefs. Who really knows? It's all up in the air there. But it was admitted on his own Twitter. If you all could pray for me, I would greatly appreciate it. I got laid off from my job. Womp womp, womp womp. Unfortunately, PInesap, it seems you're pretty good at getting fired from your job, saying in the last 7 months you've been fired from 2 of them. And unfortunately, truly unfortunately, his last job was a good one. V up tenure. Hired as a cloud engineer in February of 2025. Fired in July. He finally got the chance. He got the opportunity to use his degree, what he went to school for who knows how many years, and he's like, yes, I can make real money. I can have real opportunity. And you know they pay well because he's working in AWS, and a lot of people don't know how to do software, well, infrastructure as code. So he was getting paid really good money, but he didn't last that long as a contractor. The estimated net worth is $100,000 to $150,000. So he has some good money saved up, possibly, if he didn't give it all away to Nick. But sadly, those days are over, and now he's begging on the street, begging on GoFundMe, asking for groypers for money and attention, so maybe he has a chance to jump in and become an internet celebrity and a groyper leading figure of the movement, which would be very upsetting for some of the other ones that are currently there. But that'll be for a later tale. So I've been the King's Fool, and I hope you all have a good one.